So I get a lot of questions on social media on how I record and edit my point of view videos that I share on Instagram and TikTok. So these are portrait style videos, point of view mountain bike videos. So in this video, I'm going to give you my complete walkthrough of exactly how I do this. So first things first, the camera I use is the Insta360 X3 camera. This is a 360 camera that shoots every single thing around me, and then there is an arduous process of editing it and making it look really cool. So if you have just a normal GoPro or Insta360 One RS, you can achieve similar results, but if you want the full point of view effect, I highly recommend you get yourself a 360 camera, because I think they are way above the game when it comes to creating the videos that I like to create. I will put a link in the description where you can go and grab an Insta360 X3 camera with a special bonus and discount and all that cool stuff. Let's jump over to my screen and I will give you my complete editing process of how I get the videos I shoot for Instagram and TikTok. We have opened up our 360 video in Insta360 Studio. Now you'll notice it doesn't look anything like a social media post yet, but let's stick with this and I'll show you what I do. So first of all, what we want to do is we want to find the point in the video that you want to use for your clip. Now let's just say we want to create a 15-second banger clip for Instagram. So first of all, we're going to just find the part we want to use. Turn this down a bit, so let's just find a cool section of video. This is on a trip to Vancouver recently when I was riding my bike. So I'm going to click Command and this left bracket, so that's the start of our footage. Let's just say, for example, our clip is going to be 15 seconds, so we'll just run it over by about 20 seconds just in case. And you'll see in the timeline, this is the section we're now working with. So we've condensed everything down, we're not confusing ourselves. This is what we're working with. So we're going to go back to the start by clicking this. And we're first of all going to change the aspect ratio. So we're going to click this button here with 9:16. And you'll see now it is framed for social media. But it still doesn't look right. So what we're going to do is we are going to first of all click to the top right here. And we're going to make sure direction lock is turned on. And this basically will allow the camera to kind of follow where it thinks the view wants to be. This isn't always perfect depending on where you mount your camera, but I find for where I mount my camera on my chin, this works pretty well. I'm going to turn directional focus audio off. I think we need that on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a keyframe at the start here. We're going to press Command and K, and you'll notice it brings up this cool looking box with loads of different adjustments in here. Don't get confused, there's all sorts of different aspect ratios we can click on, so crystal ball, tiny planet, natural view. We're going to just click on default, and we're going to just click and drag around to roughly where we want our first keyframe to start. You can press Command and then start rolling this around. You may want to have a bit of a play around with all this. You can see it's all the angles here are changing, which is the pan angle, tilt angle, roll angle, point field of view control, and the distortion. Now for my videos, I like to drop this down to about 0.3, and then I put my FOV control around about 120, 125. And you can see there it's kind of getting to the point where I'm kind of happy with how it's going to look on social media. And now I'm going to try and drag it into position, rotate the camera, and that is our first keyframe set. Now we're going to just go through the video and we're going to add keyframes at every point that I change direction on the trail. So there's one point. I drag it. My best method here is to try and use as little keyframes as possible so the camera feels a little bit more natural. So roll that around, and you can get super creative with this. Right, so you can see the peak there that's coming through. We want to get rid of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back a few frames with my arrows. And what I'm going to do is, as I start looking down, I'm going to just pull the camera down a little bit. And that should alleviate the problem a little bit. There we go, it's better. Keyframe there. And then the keyframe right there. Straighten it off a bit. Okay, that's our clip. So let's just play this through and I'll show you what it looks like. Not the banger video I was hoping for, but you get the idea of how I'm editing my videos, right? There's no sudden jutters or anything, it's all very smooth. And what we can do now is, in between each of these keyframes, if we zoom in a little bit here, we can actually play around with the transition between each one. So we can do like fade in, fade out. So you might see a slight change in how it transitions between keyframes. You may not be able to notice it on this because there's a lot of things going on. But you can have a play around with this, pick a field of view and distortion that works for you. You can get even more crazy than this and make yourself look even faster, or slow things down and make things look a little flatter. There's so much you can do with it though. And then on the right here we've got all these little controls. I again would recommend keeping directional lock on if your camera is pointing forwards. If the lens is pointing forwards, then just keep it on that. We've got all these options here. Again, I would just leave these as they are unless you're using sticky lens guards and turn that on. If you don't have sticky lens guards and you turn it on, it adds some really weird stitch lines, so don't do that, keep normal. And then you can play around with image processing if you want to add a little bit more colour. Plus, you can see that changing the colour, clarity. I don't really use these too much. I like to use my colour grading in another piece of software. And then I keep audio mode directional focus turned off. And that's pretty much it. And then export him, save this, wooden bridge. And then bitrate, I wouldn't slam it as high as possible. I probably would just go maybe 40 bits for Instagram because it will compress it otherwise. And then resolution, I'll probably just go 1080 by 920 and then click start export. And that's exactly how I edit and export my videos for social media. Hope that was useful. And if you have any comments or questions on my editing process or Insta360 camera or action cameras in general, pop them in the comments, and make sure you check out some of the other videos on this channel. There's so many on here, all different things from Insta360 cameras to GoPro cameras, editing tutorials, everything. So go check it out. Let me know if you've got any other ideas for videos. We'll see you in the next one.